Hi everyone, welcome to today's video, which is Warhammer Imperium issue 30, and it's 2 paints. I know how people feel about the paint issues, so let's just crack it open, pop the paints aside, and we'll come back to those. Right, so here we go. Warhammer Imperium issue 30. Mephiston Red and Mournfang Brown paints, Ultramarines Successor chapters, and new data sheets and tutorials. So, in the black section we have more information on forces. This is for AdMech cohort roster, and it looks like you've got cohort name generators for your units. The Tech Priest Dominus, the Tech Priest Engine Seer, those are your 2 HQ choices. You've then got your Skitari Maniple, which is the 10 Skitari we've had previously. And we will be getting a Cataphrone Destroyer with issue 32. Yeah, issue 32 Cataphrone Destroyer. So, there you go. We're then coming into information on the Ultramarines and their Successor chapters. Now, I don't know, it would be nice if they do this for all chapters. But here we go. We have Nova Marines, Hawk Lords, Scythes of the Emperor, Iron Hounds, Howling Griffins, Silver Templars, White Consuls, Libators, a Genesis chapter, Praetors of Orpheus, Iron Snakes, Black Consuls, Silver Skulls, and the Aurora chapter. So those are according to this Ultramarine Successor chapters. The Ultramarines have more successors than any of the other first founding chapters. We then have information on one of the Necron dynasties. This is a Novok dynasty. And then we have information on the remnants of a dark age. The Imperium of the 41st millennium is a deeply superstitious realm. Technological innovation is viewed with fear and religious disgust stemming from horrors of the past. Information about explorator fleets there, which is always interesting. Now, because we've got a brown and a red paint, we are looking to start painting in more details. So we're going to start with the Mournfang Brown, using it to do like holsters and gloves, and the book cover in this case. I went slightly differently with mine. I used a dark dryad bark for my gloves, and the cover for my bound book is red instead of brown. But that's how I went with mine. Being a Dark Angel librarian. And then obviously we're start to paint hair on our boys. And obviously using Mephiston Red to highlight cloaks and put lenses into Space Marine helmets and colour helmets for rank structure, etc. Washing them with Nuln Oil, Hagrax Earthshade, and then relayering, and a final gallery of how these things are going to work. Now we have the data sheets for the Scorpec Destroyers, Canoptic Plasma Sight, and then a evasion protocol tutorial there. We then had information on the battle round, outer phase rules, etc. Command phase, and then we have another mission, scout mission, decisive engagement. The Necrons' overwhelming numbers have forced the Imperial defenders to retreat behind walls and fortifications. The Xenos invaders continue to press forward, gaining ground swiftly, inflicting terrible casualties as they advance. The Ultramarines have been ordered to strike back by marching beyond the relative safety of the fortress walls and landing a blow upon their Necron enemies to slow the inexorable progress of their Skeletor legions. So Necrons, Overlord, keep the momentum. The Necron Overlord is the veteran of countless thousands of campaigns. He knows well the fragile morale of his beleaguered human opponents and seeks to break it completely. Destroy the Space Marine strike force and secure the approach to Bastion Primus, and the war for Sifos will surely be all but won. Space Marines, Lieutenant, halt the advance. The Ultramarines forces in the Ramesses system are spread thin, fighting on both Megaria and Sifos. Led by their lieutenant, the Space Marines on Sifos are tasked with striking a decisive blow and slowing the Necron advance long enough for their battle brothers to join the fight and lead the counterattack. And here we have the setup again, the pale grey large playmat. We're using all 3 of the Munitorum containers. It's a no mercy mission. Forces in play, 1 Overlord, 10 Necron Warriors, 3 Scorpec Destroyers and 1 Plasma Sight. Ultramarines, 1 Lieutenant, 3 Assault Intercessors and 3 Aggressors. So there you go. That is that mission. Now, something I'm looking forward to. New terrain and Cash from Destroyers. And these are all coming in the issues 31 and 32. And I believe these will be repeated again in issue 34. She said, but we get 2 sets within my next delivery of 4 magazines. Let's bring you down and we'll have a look at the red. I know people gripe about the paint issues, but it is what it is. And to be honest, I don't mind, because paint's always useful, and for the savings that we get within the magazine, I'm quite happy with these. Now, Mephiston Red is great. I often use it for highlighting other reds, etc. Where it has my Tech Priest, I actually painted his main garb with Corn Red, and what I've done is I've used Mephiston Red to then highlight up where I wanted to. It did get a wash. It got a selective wash in where all these little rips and tears are. It got a selective wash of non-oil popped into those little recesses, and the cloak got a wash of Agrax Earthshade. So rather than making it really a black wash, it got a brown wash instead, which I found still makes it look dirty, but it doesn't create some of the issues that a non-oil wash can make with regards to taking away the colour. So I found that the Agrax Earthshade wash complemented the red more rather than the black in this instance. So that's what I've done, and obviously you can use Mephiston Red for the base within the eye lenses on helmets and things like that. And then Mournfang Brown. Mournfang Brown is a colour that I use a lot of. It's actually the way I do my bases. So all my bases are painted Mournfang Brown. So I go through a lot of this. So they're painted Mournfang Brown. I then use Zandri Dust as a dry brushed highlight, and then a final highlight of Wraithbone to create my bases. I also primarily use Mournfang Brown for a lot of the pouches, etc. So a lot of the pouches on the Space Marines and straps I paint Mournfang Brown. But things like gloves, etc. And like we'll be getting some Sisters of Battle later with the issue, and I quite often paint their corset and gloves in the darker Dryad bark that I use, and then the capes on these are Mephiston Red, but for example pouches and straps, weapon straps, etc. are all Mournfang Brown, and that's how I roll in that respect, really. So there you go. I know it's two paints It's not a lot to write home about, but it's, for me, it's all good stuff, because, you know, I use this one, and even the ones that come with this, that are going to come with this magazine, which I don't really use that often, are still handy to just have on the shelf. All right, join me in the next video. Take care.